Captain Allison Wright sat in her command chair on the bridge of the Earth diplomatic vessel Pathfinder. The ship was quiet as it moved through space. Stars filled the viewing screen in front of her. She took a sip of coffee and looked at the latest reports. "Captain, we're picking up a signal," said Communications Officer Lisa Brown. Her fingers moved quickly across her screen. It's a distress call." Wright put down her coffee. "Let me hear it." The bridge filled with static, then a voice spoke in a strange language. The ship's computer translated. "Under attack. Royal Transport. Requesting immediate assistance." Commander Eric Patterson, the first officer, frowned. "Captain, this could be a trap. We don't know who's sending this. We're still new to this part of space." Wright stood up and walked closer to the main screen. "Where is it coming from? The odd Talaris system," said Navigation Officer Joe King. "About 20 minutes away at full speed." Wright thought for a moment. Humans had only been traveling in deep space for 40 years. Most older alien species still saw them as children playing with dangerous toys. The Pathfinder was on a peaceful mission to meet new civilizations, not to get involved in their fights. "Any idea who sent this?" Wright asked. "The signal has markers of Citari technology," said Brown. "I've only seen it in our databases. They're supposed to be very advanced." Patterson stepped closer to Wright. "Captain, the Citari Empire hasn't made official contact with humans yet. If we rush in, we could cause a diplomatic problem." Wright nodded. "I understand your concern, Eric." She turned to face her crew. "But we can't ignore a call for help no matter who sent it." "Setting course for the Talaris system," said King. "Full speed." 20 minutes later, the Pathfinder dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The scene in front of them was chaos. A beautiful silver ship with wing-like extensions was being attacked by 3 dark, spike-covered vessels. The silver ship was badly damaged, with parts of it on fire. "Scan that damaged vessel," ordered Wright. 15 life signs, reported Science Officer Andrew Moore. "Wait, 14, 13. They're dying in there, Captain." "Those attacking ships are Vosh designs," said Patterson. "The Vosh Collective is known to be aggressive. This is definitely not our fight." Wright stood tall. "Open a channel to both ships." "Channel open," said Brown. "This is Captain Allison Wright of the Earth diplomatic vessel Pathfinder. We're responding to a distress call. Please stop your attack and explain the situation." The main screen changed to show an alien with gray skin and 4 yellow eyes. "I am Supreme General Krazathul of the Vosh Collective. This is galactic politics beyond your primitive understanding. Leave now or be destroyed with them." Before Wright could answer, the screen split to show another alien. This one had blue skin that seemed to shimmer like water and large purple eyes. The alien was clearly injured. "I am Queen Zalara of the Ceteri Empire. The Vosh attacked without warning. Please, help us," Patterson whispered. "Captain, the Vosh have much more advanced weapons than we do. We can't win this fight." Wright looked at the dying queen, then at the angry Vosh general. She made her decision. "Move us between the Vosh ships and the royal vessel," she ordered. "Shields up, weapons ready." "Captain," Patterson began. "These bullies think we're primitive and weak," said Wright as the Pathfinder moved into position. "Let's show them that. Humans don't ignore those who need help." The Vosh ships turned their weapons toward the Pathfinder. "They're targeting us," said Tactical Officer Kyle Reeves. "Hold position," said Wright, gripping the arms of her chair. "They'll have to go through us first." The Vosh ships fired. The first blast from the Vosh ships hit the Pathfinder. The whole ship shook. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. "Shields at 70%, called out Tactical Officer Kyle Reeves. "They're much stronger than we expected." Captain Wright held on to her chair as the ship rocked again. "Return fire. Target their weapons only." "Captain, the engine room reports damage to the cooling systems," said Communications Officer Lisa Brown. Wright tapped her communication badge. "Chief Engineer, what's our status?" "Susan Miller here." "It's not good, Captain," came the reply. "I need at least 10 minutes to fix the cooling systems, or we'll have to power down shields." "You have 5 minutes, Chief," said Wright. Commander Patterson looked at the screen showing the 3 Vosh ships moving to surround them. "We can't win this fight, Captain." "We're not trying to win," said Wright. "We're buying time." She turned to her security chief. Gregory, take a boarding team to the Centauri vessel. Get any survivors out. Security Chief Gregory Martinez nodded. Yes, Captain. He selected 5 officers and headed for the transport room. On the main screen, one of the Voss ships exploded as Reeves landed a perfect shot on its main power core. Got one? He shouted. Good work, Lieutenant, said Wright. Keep it up. Martinez and his team materialized on the Centauri Royal ship. The air was thin and filled with smoke. Bodies of blue-skinned Centauri crew members lay everywhere. Life signs? Martinez asked his team's medical officer, Samantha Green. Green checked her scanner. 2 signals. That way. She pointed down a damaged hallway. They moved carefully through the ship. Parts of the ceiling had fallen. Fires burned in some rooms. Finally, they reached what looked like a control room. Queen Zilara lay on the floor. Another Centauri in armor knelt beside her, holding a weapon pointed at the door. We're from Earth, said Martinez, raising his hands to show he was peaceful. Captain Wright sent us to help you. The armored Centauri did not lower his weapon. Why? Would humans help us? Because you need it, said Martinez simply. We need to get you both out of here now. Green moved forward slowly. I'm a doctor. Let me help the Queen. The guard finally lowered his weapon and moved aside. Green examined Queen Zilara with her medical scanner. She's badly injured but stable for now, said Green. We need to get her to our medical bay. Our ship is under attack too, said Martinez. He tapped his badge. Martinez to Pathfinder. We found the Queen and 1 guard, ready for transport. Back on the Pathfinder, the situation was getting worse. Another blast rocked the ship. Shields at 30%, shouted Reeves. We've taken out another Voss ship, but the last one is closing in. Chief Miller, we need those engines back. Now, said Wright. Just about there, came Miller's strained voice. Got it. Engines back to full power. At that moment, Martinez called in. We have the Queen, ready for transport. Get them out of there, ordered Wright. The transporter. Room reported success just as sensors showed more Voss ships entering the area. 6 more Voss vessels approaching, said Science Officer Moore. We can't fight them all. Wright studied the star map quickly. There's an unstable wormhole nearby. Can we use it? It's dangerous, said Navigation Officer King. It could tear us apart. So will those ships, said Wright. Set course for the wormhole, maximum speed. The Pathfinder turned away from the battle and shot forward. The remaining Voss ships followed, firing constantly at the human vessel. As they approached the wormhole, its swirling colors filled the screen. Brace for impact, shouted Wright. The Pathfinder plunged into the wormhole. The ship shook violently. Systems sparked and failed across the bridge. For a moment, it seemed like the ship would break apart. Then suddenly, they were through, emerging in a different part of space. The Voss ships were gone. Wright looked around her damaged bridge. Damage report. Hull breaches on decks 3 and 4, said Patterson. Medical bay reports the Queen is stable but unconscious. Wright nodded and stood up, straightening her uniform despite a cut on her forehead. Set course for Frontier Station. Omega, let's get our guest to safety. As the damaged Pathfinder limped away, the Centauri guard watched the humans work to save his Queen, wondering why these strange aliens would risk so much for people they'd never met before. Frontier Station Omega grew larger on the viewing screen as the damaged Pathfinder approached. The station was the furthest human outpost from Earth, a massive wheel-shaped structure rotating slowly in space. Station Omega is hailing us, said Communications Officer Lisa Brown. Put them through, Captain Wright replied, adjusting her uniform. She had a bandage on her forehead now. A stern-faced woman appeared on screen. This is Fleet Admiral Victoria Dawson. Pathfinder, what is your situation? Your ship looks like it went through a meat grinder. Admiral, we responded to a distress call and rescued Queen Zilara of the Centauri Empire from Voss attackers, Wright explained. The Queen is injured. We need medical assistance immediately. Admiral Dawson's eyes widened. You did what? Docking Bay 3 is clear. Report to my office as soon as you dock. The screen went dark. Commander Patterson looked at Wright. That went well. She'll understand once we explain, said Wright, though she didn't sound convinced. The Pathfinder docked with the station. Medical teams rushed aboard to take Queen Zilara to the station's advanced medical facility. Captain Wright and Commander Patterson headed to Admiral Dawson's office. They found the Admiral waiting with a small bald man in a formal suit. Captain Wright, this is Harold Chen, United Earth Diplomatic Representative, said Admiral Dawson. Now please explain why you've potentially started an interstellar war. Wright told them everything that had happened. When she finished, Chen spoke first. This could actually be an opportunity. The Ceteri Empire has ignored our attempts at formal contact for years. Now we've saved their queen. Admiral Dawson shook her head. At what cost? The Vosh Collective has 50 times our military strength. If they decide to retaliate and aid rushed in. Admiral, we're receiving transmissions from 12 different species. They're all requesting permission to send representatives to the station. 12. Chen looked shocked. We've only established relations with 5 alien civilizations. Word travels fast, said Wright. Within hours, Frontier Station Omega became crowded with alien diplomats. None of them seemed happy. Captain Wright and her senior crew gathered in the station's main conference room as the visitors arrived. A tall alien with bark-like skin stepped forward. I am Ambassador Zoval of the Arcturian Confederation. Humans, you have blundered into affairs beyond your understanding. We responded to a distress call, said Wright firmly. A short green alien with 6 arms scoffed. The Cetari-Vosh conflict has been ongoing for centuries. It has complex political implications you couldn't possibly grasp. Should we have let the Queen die? Asked Security Chief Martinez. Yes, said several voices at once. Wright was stunned. That's your civilized response? To ignore someone who needs help? Ambassador Zoval's voice was gentler than the others. Captain, your species is young. The galaxy operates on delicate balances of power established over millennia. Your actions, while brave, were foolish. The Vosh will demand punishment, said another alien. They may target Earth itself. In the medical bay, Dr. Olivia Bennett checked the readings on Queen Zilara's life support pod. The Queen's blue skin had a healthier glow, and her vital signs were improving. The Ceteri guard had not left her side. He watched every move the human doctor made. She's getting stronger, Dr. Bennett told him. I think she'll regain consciousness soon. You are the first species I've seen who would risk their lives for strangers, said the guard. Most races in the galaxy would have calculated the political cost and moved on. Dr. Bennett smiled. That's not how we do things. Back in the conference room, the arguments continued. The alien representatives warned of trade sanctions, broken alliances, and worse if humans didn't hand over Queen Zilara to proper authorities. And who would those be? Asked Wright. Before anyone could answer, Dr. Bennett's voice came through the communication system. Captain Wright, Queen Zilara is awake. She's asking to speak with you and the representatives. A hush fell over the room. Wright stood up. Tell her we're on our way. As they left the conference room, Commander Patterson whispered to Wright, I have a feeling things are about to get even more complicated. Wright nodded. But at least we'll finally hear the Queen's side of the story. The medical bay of Frontier Station Omega was not designed for important meetings, yet now it held representatives from 12 alien species plus the human officials. All eyes were on the blue-skinned figure resting in the recovery pod. Queen Zilara sat up slowly with Dr. Bennett's help. Even injured, she had a powerful presence. Her skin shimmered like water in sunlight. Her large purple eyes scanned the crowded room. I thank Captain Wright and the crew of the Pathfinder for saving my life, she said. Her voice was musical but strong. Without their courage, I would be dead. Your Majesty, said Ambassador Zoval of the Arcturians, we are relieved by your recovery, but we must discuss the humans' interference in the established conflict between your people and the Vosh. Queen Zilara's eyes narrowed. Established conflict? Is that what you all believe this is? A murmur ran through the room. Captain Wright moved closer to the Queen's bed. "What do you mean, Your Majesty?" The Queen looked tired, but determined. "What I am about to tell you may be difficult to believe. The centuries of war between the Centauri and the Vosh is not what it seems. It is an elaborate deception created by the Shroud hegemony." The room exploded with noise. Alien diplomats talked over each other in shock and disbelief. "The Shroud? But they are just a myth," said one alien. "A bedtime story to frighten children," said another. Queen Zilara waited for the noise to die down. "They are very real. For over 500 years they have manipulated both the Centauri and the Vosh. They create false attacks, spread lies, and keep our peoples fighting, all while they grow stronger in the shadows." The Tellarite ambassador, a pig-like alien with tusks, stepped forward. "This is absurd. Why would they do this?" "Because they feed on conflict," said the Queen. "And because divided, we cannot stand against them when they finally move to conquer us all." "You have proof of these claims?" asked Admiral Dawson. Queen Zilara touched a small device attached to her neck. "My Royal Encryption Core contains all the evidence. Records of Shroud agents, secret meetings, manipulated data. But it was damaged in the attack." The Tellarite ambassador snorted. How convenient. Perhaps the humans were actually manipulated by the Queen into this rescue. Their species is known for being easily controlled. Captain Wright stepped forward, angry. "We acted on our own. No one controlled us." Queen Zilara raised a hand. "The ambassador's suspicion is understandable. My people have hidden the truth for too long out of fear. But now the encryption core can prove everything, if it can be repaired." Chief Engineer Susan Miller, who had been quietly listening, spoke up. "I might be able to help with that. Human tech is different, but I'm good with puzzles." The alien representatives argued among themselves. Some demanded the Queen be handed over to neutral parties. Others wanted to dismiss everything she said as lies. Through it all, Queen Zilara remained calm. She watched the humans with interest, especially when Captain Wright firmly refused to let anyone take the Queen away. "You still protect me, even when it might be easier to give me up?" the Queen asked Wright quietly. "That's not how we do things," Wright replied, echoing Dr. Bennett's earlier words. Later, as most of the representatives left to discuss the situation, Wright sat alone with Queen Zilara. "Tell me honestly," said the Queen. "If you had known how complicated this would become, would you still have answered our distress call?" Wright didn't hesitate. "Yes. A person in danger deserves help, no matter who they are." The Queen studied Wright's face. Such a simple view. Yet perhaps there is wisdom in it that the older races have forgotten. She touched her damaged encryption core. "If your engineer can repair this, I can show everyone the truth. The question is, are they ready to see it?" Wright smiled. "There's only one way to find out." Outside the medical bay, Chief Engineer Miller was already gathering tools. She had a feeling this would be the most important repair job of her life. Chief Engineer Susan Miller stared at the Royal Encryption Core on the workbench. The small device was unlike anything she had seen before. Its surface glowed with faint blue lines that seemed to move like flowing water. "It's beautiful," she said. Next to her stood Daniel Lopez, the station's systems analyst. He scanned the device with various tools. "The technology is at least 300 years ahead of ours," he said. "I'm not sure we can fix this." 3 Centauri technicians watched nearby. They had arrived on a small diplomatic vessel after hearing about their Queen's rescue. One stepped forward. "We appreciate your help," she said. Her name was Riva. "But our experts tried and failed to repair it. The damage is in the quantum layers." Miller picked up her favorite tool, a small device she had modified herself. "Sometimes fresh eyes see new solutions," she said. "May I?" Riva nodded, and Miller began a careful examination. For hours, the human and Centauri technicians worked together. They shared ideas, tried different approaches, and slowly began to understand the alien technology. "It's like water," Miller said suddenly. "The data doesn't flow in straight lines, like ours. It flows in patterns, like a river. Lopez nodded excitedly. And the damage is like a dam blocking the flow. We need to create a new channel. By the next morning, they had a plan. Using parts from both human and Centauri technology, they built a small bridge to connect the broken paths in the encryption core. Ready? Miller asked, looking at the tired faces around her. Everyone nodded. She activated the device. At first, nothing happened. Then the blue lines on the core began to glow brighter. A holographic display appeared above it, showing streams of data. It's working, Lopez shouted. They called Captain Wright and Queen Zilara immediately. Soon the medical bay was crowded again with representatives from all species. The evidence is clear, said Queen Zilara as the recordings played for everyone to see. These are Shroud agents disguised as both Qatari and Vosh, creating false attacks, manipulating leaders, and ensuring our war continues. The recordings showed shadowy figures changing form, planting explosives on ships and altering data in both Centauri and Vosh systems. The dates spanned centuries. The room was silent as the final recording ended. No one could deny what they had seen. The Vosh delegation was most affected. Their representative, a tall, gray-skinned alien, stood rigid with shock. We have been used, he said. His voice shook with rage. Our people pride themselves on honor above all. To learn we have been pawns. He pulled out a ceremonial dagger. Wait, shouted Wright, but it was too late. Following his culture's code of honor, the Vosh ambassador plunged the dagger into his chest and fell to the floor. The medical team rushed forward, but there was nothing they could do. The remaining Vosh representative, Sub-Commander Vexnar, looked at his fallen leader, then at the humans and Queen Zilara. I request a private meeting, he said. Immediately. In a small conference room, Captain Wright sat with Queen Zilara and Sub-Commander Vexnar. The Vosh soldiers' yellow eyes were filled with pain and anger. A Vosh battle fleet is already on its way to attack the main Centauri homeworld, he said. Our Supreme Commander believes it will end the war. With this new information... How many ships? Asked Wright. 35 battlecruisers, said Vexnar. Enough to destroy the Centauri defenses and occupy the planet. Queen Zilara closed her eyes briefly. My people will fight to the last. Millions will die on both sides. And the Shroud will claim what's left, said Wright. We need to stop that fleet. Impossible, said Vexnar. They will not listen to a message. The commander would assume it was Centauri trickery. Wright leaned forward. What if we deliver the message in person? Both aliens stared at her. What are you suggesting? Asked the Queen. A joint mission, said Wright. Your ship is the only one with representatives of all three species who could convince the fleet to stand down. It would be incredibly dangerous, said Vexnar. Wright smiled. Good thing humans specialize in doing the impossible. Admiral Victoria Dawson looked at Captain Wright like she had gone completely mad. You want to take your damaged ship to intercept a Vosh battle fleet? She asked. That's not a mission, that's suicide. They stood in the Admiral's office on Frontier Station Omega. Wright, Commander Patterson, Queen Zilara, and Sub-Commander Vexnar had just presented their plan. The Pathfinder is the only ship with representatives from all three species, Wright said. The Vosh commander might listen to Vexnar, and the Queen's presence will prove we're telling the truth. Chief Miller says the engines and shields can be repaired enough for the journey, added Patterson. We don't need to fight, we just need to talk to them. Admiral Dawson sighed. And if they shoot first and ask questions later? Then we die, said Wright simply. But if we do nothing, millions will die when the fleet attacks the Centauri homeworld. The Admiral walked to the window, looking out at the stars. After a long moment, she turned around. I'll authorize emergency repairs. But I'm sending Nicole Rodriguez with you as a special envoy. Wright looked surprised. The conflict resolution expert? If anyone can help turn enemies into allies, it's her, said Dawson. She's been studying alien psychology for years. Within hours, repair crews swarmed over the Pathfinder. Chief Engineer Miller directed the work, pushing the teams to their limits. The ship needed to leave within 12 hours to have any chance of intercepting the Vosh fleet before it reached Centauri space. While the repairs continued, several alien ambassadors approached Wright privately. The Arcturian, Zoval, was first. "Your species continues to surprise me, Captain," he said. "Many thought you were fools for saving the Queen. Now I wonder if there is wisdom in your actions that we have forgotten." He handed Wright a data crystal. "This contains information about suspected shroud agents within the Vosh fleet. It may help you identify them." "Why are you helping us?" Wright asked. Joval's bark-like face shifted in what might have been a smile. "Perhaps I'm becoming a fool, like you." Other ambassadors provided similar assistance. Some offered technical help for the repairs. Others shared tactical information about the Vosh. Even the Tellarite ambassador who had been most critical approached Wright. "You will probably die," he said bluntly. "But if you somehow succeed, remember that the Tellarites supported you." As the final repairs were completed, the crew gathered on the bridge. Many had volunteered to stay behind, but Wright refused to leave anyone. "Every person on this ship chose to serve," she told Admiral Dawson. "I won't take that choice away from them now." Nicole Rodriguez, the special envoy, joined them on the bridge. She was a short woman with intelligent eyes and a confident manner. "I've studied the Vosh culture extensively," she told Wright. "Their honor code is complex but consistent. If we can prove they've been manipulated, their rage will turn against the Shroud, not us." The ship was ready. Queen Zalara and Sub-Commander Vexnar took positions on the bridge. The crew looked nervous but determined. Admiral Dawson contacted them one last time. "The Pathfinder is not a warship, Captain," she said. "You're outgunned in every way possible." "We know, Admiral," replied Wright. "But sometimes the strongest weapon isn't a gun, it's the truth." "Good luck," said Dawson. "Earth is with you." The Pathfinder pulled away from Frontier Station Omega. Its newly repaired engines glowed as the ship accelerated to faster-than-light speed. On the bridge, Captain Wright looked at her strange crew, humans, a Centauri queen, and a Vosh warrior, all working together. "Set course to intercept the Vosh fleet," she ordered. "Let's go change some minds." As the Pathfinder disappeared into the darkness of space, Admiral Dawson whispered, "Come back alive, you beautiful fools." The Pathfinder dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the border of Centauri space. The ship's sensors immediately detected the Vosh battle fleet, 35 massive warships moving in perfect formation. "They haven't spotted us yet," said Science Officer Andrew Moore. "But they will soon." Captain Wright looked at Sub-Commander Vexnar. "It's time. Open a channel to the fleet commander." Vexnar moved to the communication station. "This is Sub-Commander Vexnar of the Vosh Collective. I request to speak with Fleet Commander Draxor immediately." The main screen changed to show a stern Vosh officer with 4 yellow eyes and a face marked with ritual scars. "Vexnar, what are you doing on a human vessel? Explain yourself." "Commander, I bring urgent information," said Vexnar. "The war with the Centauri is based on deception. The Shroud hegemony has manipulated both our peoples for centuries." Fleet Commander Draxor's eyes narrowed. "The Shroud? Old myths to frighten children. Have the humans confused your mind?" "I have proof," said Vexnar. "Queen Zalara of the Centauri is here with us. Her royal encryption core contains evidence that cannot be denied." "A Centauri on your ship?" Draxor growled. "You dishonor the collective. I will destroy that vessel and you with it." Nicole Rodriguez moved forward. "Commander, before you fire, consider this. What if you are wrong? What if your entire life service has been built on a lie? Wouldn't a true warrior want to know the truth?" The commander hesitated. That was the opening they needed. "Transmitting the evidence now," said Communications Officer Lisa Brown, "broadcasting to all ships in the fleet. The data from the Royal Encryption Core streamed to every vessel." Captain Wright, Queen Zalara, and Vexnar spoke together, explaining what they had discovered about the Shroud's manipulation. On the screen, they could see Commander Draxor watching the evidence. His expression changed from disbelief to shock, and finally to rage. "If this is true," he began, Suddenly, without warning, 3 Vosh ships turned their weapons, not on the Pathfinder or the Centauri border defenses, but on other Vosh ships. "They're firing on their own fleet," shouted Tactical Officer Kyle Reeves. "The Shroud agents," said Queen Zilara. "They've been exposed and are trying to start the conflict anyway." Chaos erupted as the Vosh fleet split into confused groups. Some ships returned fire on the attackers, while others held position, waiting for orders. "Commander Draxor," said Wright urgently. "Those ships are controlled by Shroud agents. They're trying to force this war to happen." "How can we know which ships are compromised?" asked Draxor. "The Arcturians gave me information about suspected infiltration," said Wright. "Sending it now." As the data transferred, the rogue Vosh ships continued their attack. The Pathfinder moved to assist loyal Vosh vessels, using its weapons to target the engines of a compromised ship. "We need to board one of those ships," said Commander Patterson. "If we can capture a Shroud agent alive, we'll have definitive proof." "That's almost impossible," said Vexnar. "The Shroud are shapeshifters. They will kill themselves before being captured." "Almost impossible isn't the same as impossible," said Patterson with a grim smile. "I'll lead the boarding party." Captain Wright nodded. "Take Martinez and his security team. Be careful." As Patterson prepared to leave, Lieutenant Kyle Reeves showed exceptional tactical skill, coordinating with loyal Vosh ships to surround one of the compromised vessels. "Target their weapons and engines," he directed. "We need that ship disabled, but intact." The battle was fierce but quick. Working together, the human ship and loyal Vosh vessels disabled the rogue ship systems. "Boarding party ready," reported Patterson from the transporter room. "Remember," said Vexnar, who had joined the team. "The Shroud can take any form. Trust no one you meet aboard. Transport when ready," ordered Wright. As the boarding party disappeared in the transporter beam, Queen Zilara moved to stand beside Captain Wright. "For the first time in recorded history, we might capture a Shroud agent alive," she said. "Your people continue to do the impossible." Wright watched the battle unfold on the screen. "The day isn't over yet, Your Majesty. Let's hope our luck holds." 2 months after the battle at the Centauri border, representatives from 27 spacefaring civilizations gathered at Earth's orbital diplomatic station Unity. It was the largest gathering of alien species in human history. Captain Allison Wright stood before them in her dress uniform. Beside her were the crew of the Pathfinder, as well as Queen Zilara and Fleet Commander Draxor. "Today marks a new chapter in galactic history," said United Earth President Franklin. "Thanks to the bravery of Captain Wright and her crew, a centuries-old deception has been revealed." The audience chamber was filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some floated in the air. Others needed special environments to breathe. All were here for the same reason. At the center of the room, displayed in a special containment field, was a Shroud agent. It had been captured during the boarding action led by Commander Patterson. The creature constantly shifted its form, trying to escape. But the field held it securely. Queen Zilara stepped forward. "For too long, the Shroud manipulated our civilizations from the shadows. They created conflicts, spread lies, and watched as we weakened ourselves through pointless wars. But that ends today." She turned to Captain Wright and presented her with a small crystal medallion. "The Centauri Empire honors your courage and insight." Fleet Commander Draxor did the same. "The Vosh Collective acknowledges our debt to humanity. Your actions saved countless lives on both sides." The ceremony continued with other species presenting honors to the Pathfinder crew. But the most significant moment came when Queen Zilara announced the formation of a new galactic defense coalition. "To ensure the Shroud can never again divide us, we propose a united defense force," she said, "and we invite humanity to join as a founding member." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Several elder species protested immediately. "This is outrageous," said the Tellarite ambassador. "Humans are barely a century into space travel. There are 12 species here with thousands of years more experience. Yet none of them saw what the humans saw," replied Fleet Commander Draxor. His voice silenced the room. "While we fought shadows and chased lies, the humans saw clearly. They acted without hesitation to save a queen they didn't know from a war they didn't understand. Their foolishness was wisdom we had forgotten. The protest quieted. One by one, the representatives voted. By a narrow margin, the proposal passed. Humanity would join the coalition as equals with species far older and more advanced. Later, Captain Wright stood alone on the observation deck, looking down at Earth. The blue planet seemed so small from here, yet her people had already made such an impact on the galaxy. Queen Zilara joined her. "What are you thinking, Captain?" "Just wondering what happens next," said Wright. "Everything has changed so quickly." The Queen nodded. "My advisors were strongly against giving humans such an important role in the coalition. They said your species is too young, too emotional, too unpredictable. And what did you say?" "I told them that was exactly why we need you." The Queen looked out at the stars. "The elder races, like mine, have become too cautious, too logical. We overthink everything. We see all the reasons why something might fail, so we never try." She turned to Wright. "My culture had dismissed humans as impulsive, emotional creatures lacking the refined intellect of elder races. Now I understand that it was precisely these qualities that allowed you to see what our logical, cautious minds could not. Perhaps the galaxy needs more of your particular brand of foolishness." Wright smiled as she saw ambassadors approaching to meet her. "Well, Your Majesty, like I told Admiral Dawson when this all started, we're just getting started." The Queen watched as the human captain greeted the alien representatives with easy confidence. The elder races had ruled the galaxy for millennia, seeing themselves as wise and humans as foolish children. How wrong they had been.